And this is a nurse that took care of her and signed an affidavit. I'm going to post it on my website.
There are other very wealthy and well-known people who have been in a similar situation, such as the late Christopher Reeve, Superman,
yeah,
and also President Reagan. And no one would think of euthanizing them or starving them to death because they're wealthy and famous.
Yeah.
But poor Terry Schiavo is just a normal human being, so some people, like Senator Waxman, know that someone like that can be disposed of.
Well, it's starting to come out.
On the way.
Yeah, it's starting to come out that it's you know, her husband and the judge and all of them down there in one of those tight New World Order circle boy club things. And it's going to come out. They're all just a bunch of Satan freaks. You watch.
Yes.
And she's just a lamb in the center of it all that they're trying to kill to keep her quiet.
I read the Chicago Tribune article on it today. It was quite lengthy and very deceptive. They went into broad generalities about various situations, and they stayed away from specific facts of her case. They did not tell that she can do things, that she can set up, that she's not on life support, that there are English doctors who support the premise that she was strangled and what caused her difficulties.
Yeah, and she had broken bones. They could detect that she had suffered broken bones.
They keep repeating the mantra that she's in a persistent vegetative state.
And she's not. Did you read the information from her lawyer that when they went to remove the feeding tube, she was crying, "I want to live."
Yes. And
I'll tell you that was just heartbreaking. And that's when I just started pounding me, hear that, get on the phone. Get on the phone to the White House and put the numbers out for them to call. Because, it's no surprise we've been lied to, but now it's time to do something about it.
It's a very important moral decision for the entire country. Before Mr. Hitler opened up the death camp, he between 1934 and 1938, he got rid of about 350,000 disabled Germans with the complete support of the medical community in Germany.
Yeah.
That was social Darwinism, and they fully supported cleaning out the rest homes, hospices, the homes for the mentally disabled. 350,000 people were legally, smoothly killed. And I think that's where they're going with Terry Schiavo. If they get this through as precedent, if they get these laws passed that make it very easy, there is no older person, there is no disabled person who won't meet the same fate when it just becomes, how do you say, economically not useful to keep them alive anymore.
Yeah, strongest of the strongest of the fittest?
Yes.
And, we know persecution's coming to us, but we don't have to lay down and let this stuff fly. We don't have to take it. You know what I mean? We don't just submit to their evilness and their laws that are evil. There are things that are going to come to pass, and people say, well, we can't do anything about the New World Order. We can make it as miserable for them as possible. We can fight them every step of the way.
And just as we should support our lawmakers who want to help this woman, I think we should contact senators respectfully, like Senator Waxman, who want to see her go, and ask them, where is your conscience?
Yeah.
How can you say this in light of the facts? This is very shameful and immoral conduct. How can you possibly defend it, such a position?
Yeah, well, you know what? They took a vote in Congress, and for the people that didn't vote, we're going to raise awareness on those senators who voted for her to just be killed. We're going to raise awareness on those and target them, single them out, so people know what their senators are voting against and for, and that Terry Schiavo didn't mean anything to them. They voted for her to be killed. We're going to raise awareness on those particular senators.
They voted for her to be killed, and in a very cruel manner. They voted for her to be tortured. They voted for her to be put to death in a way that they would not tolerate for a mass murderer.
Yeah. You know what? You know, let's take one of their mothers or grandmothers or sisters or daughters and have them go through the same kind of treatment. See how they like it.
It's very sad. Well, I'll get off so other people can call in. But, God bless you in your work, and I really appreciate that you put Terry's light on your site today and are alerting people to it.
All right. Well, thanks for calling in, John.
Well, thank you. Good
Thanks a lot. God bless. And we got about 3 minutes till the break. Call in line 260-356-2611. You know, that's just one of those heartbreaking things with Terry Schiavo and you know, the invalid in Florida. And, you know, there's so many lies put out about the whole thing. And it's going to come out that she was put in there to begin with from her husband, from his physical abuse about her. And it's looking more and more that the amount of control and influence that her husband seems to have over this whole process and intimidating and scaring nurses from even being able to help Terry with his intimidation, his mannerisms, his speech he used towards them. He's probably one of these ranking Satan freaks down there. You know, it's so prevalent. And I'm just getting so tired of these Satan freaks thinking they can bully people around and come after the lambs of God and God's people. And, you know, I don't even know if Terry is one of his, but I'll tell you what, his people are behind her. And you know, that's the Lord having us support her and pull behind her, so he knows if she's one of his. And, you know, just pulling a lamb out of the wolf's jaw, you know, because Michael Schiavo is nothing but a beast. He's an animal. And these kinds of things in Florida just need to stop, and they need to be exposed. And these judges that are pure evil, who trounce on the Constitution, you know, they need to be put out of office. We've had enough of it across this country with judges ignoring the Constitution and making their own rulings and doing the things that, you know, things that aren't based on the Constitution. They're just like, you know, whatever the whim is of the day, whatever their agenda is. You know, and so we need to bring this back to our country.
Sherry?
I know it's a long shot, folks, because...
Sherry?
Yeah.
You want my 2 cents?
Yeah.
I think what we should do is put term limits on all judges just like the president. 2 terms,
there you go.
2 terms, they're out. Let them find a real job. I'm ready for break whenever you are.
All right. Well, we're going to take a break, folks. We'll be back in about a minute.
This is the Reality Radio Network on Telstar 5 Transponder 5 and on the internet at realityradionetwork.com.
Do you know where the 78 potentially active volcanoes in the U.S. are located? And do you know the locations of the top 300 prime terrorist targets? You can find these answers and more in the new interactive CD book, Prudent Places USA. With the more than 50 interactive parameters, you can pinpoint natural and man-made disaster areas, brewing environmental catastrophes, the safest cities, the best places for solar and wind energy, and much, much more. Complete with 3 gigabytes of detailed information on each of 3,000 plus counties in the U.S., including 550 high-resolution full-color maps and full-color photographs, as well as detailed